Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. I know what you're thinking, Justin, really? Another third-party Homelander? We have a third-party Homelander for every day of the week at this point. I feel the exact same, but I do have a good feeling about this one, the Toys Era, the Sigma 2.0. Now, I got mine direct from Toys Era. This is a review sample. That does not mean they've told me what to say. All opinions are 100% my own. This is also not a promotional video. This is a review on a Homelander figure that's going in my The Boys collection after this video is done. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new third-party or Hot Toys review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, it's pretty straightforward actually. Black background, a glossy silhouetted image of Homelander, and down below it says The Sigma by Toys Era. I particularly like this little quote though. Oh no, I'm the upgrade. Well, we'll sure as heck find out if you are Toys Era's Sigma. On the side of the box, blue. I'm not exactly sure what it is supposed to be, but I like it. There's texture to it, and it looks like something's been ripped away to reveal the blue underneath. You also have more of that glossy image of Homelander spilling over the edge from the front of the box. On the back, we have some teeny tiny warnings and legal info. Seriously, the writing is really small. We also have a Homelander symbol and some blood splatter down below. What's Homelander without a little bit of blood splatter? It just makes sense for that to be there. I am hoping with this Homelander that this is my final one. I know there are more third-party companies making Homelanders, and yes, I will review them. But in the display, I'm sick of constantly changing out Homelanders. I want this to be my definitive Homelander, at least for a while. I mean, it's been a steady pace of having new Homelanders just very regularly. First in-hand impressions for the Toys Era Sigma. So far so good. I like the look of the outfit, the feel of the body, and that head sculpt. No complaints so far. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories, there are more underneath this tray, laid out in the light box, and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first, it is rectangular, so it will fit in alongside your modern day Hot Toys figures. It's nice and chunky to give him an added height boost in the display, and for the nameplate, they've chosen to leave it blank, which is not a bad thing. Can you imagine if this said the Sigma? I far prefer them leaving it blank, that way we can add our own nameplate if we want to. I don't think you need to. Up top with the Homelander symbol on this rough textured surface, that does enough heavy lifting. Not to mention the figure himself, you know exactly who this is when you have him standing on the display base. Up top, an adjustable crotch grabber. The Premium Toys version of Homelander also came with 5 head sculpts. In fact, it came with the same 5 head sculpts as this one. Now that means I can't quite give the award to most head sculpts ever to come with a figure to the Toys Era one. It's just tied with the Premium Toys one. Still, 5 head sculpts, that's quite a feat, and to execute them as well as they have, I'm pretty impressed. The skin texture is really good, the likeness on some of them stronger than others, and the array of expressions, very strong. We will discuss all of the head sculpts in a lot more detail later on. Now they all have these screws on the underside, because if you remember with the Premium Toys one, you had that light up feature. You'd pop the button cell batteries in, you'd bonk him on his head, and his lights would turn on. This one does have a light up feature, not quite in the traditional sense though. Don't worry about grabbing a screwdriver and taking those screws out. You'll see what I mean on the actual figure. And lastly, for hands, we have open palm hands, some style pose hands with the fingers slightly crunched in, closed fists already installed on him, as well as a pointing finger hand and a hit that thumbs up button hand. I am so sorry. There are washers in all of the crevices. There's this leather green texture on the surface. We also have some stitching lines sculpted in, some wrinkling, and the pads on the back of the hands. What we are going to do now, though, is get Homelander himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. I'm not going to lie to you, when Toys Era announced this and I saw the pics, I just rolled my eyes and I was like, oh, really? Another Homelander? Seriously? We had the Star Race one, then we had the Toys Works one, then we had the Premium Toys one. We're still yet to get So-So. The Young Rich Toys one isn't out, and now we have the Toys Era one. That is just so many Homelanders. Is the Homelander war over with this one? I think it might be. We have seen in-hand pics of So-So. I reckon this one beats it. I will wait till I get that one and we'll do comparisons. For now, I'm just so happy with this one. The proportions are more realistic. The outfit, now that it's made of fabric versus that rubbery material, doesn't bounce light off the surface. It absorbs it like it should. All of the muscle padding around the front is there. There's shading in the crevices. And the head sculpts, you get 5 of them, which you just don't see anywhere else. It isn't perfect. We still have a couple of small things to discuss. Overall, it ticks a lot of boxes that the other ones just don't. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Homelander's first head sculpt. The first of 5. We have 5 different head sculpts to look at, so I'll try and be relatively quick, but also thorough. This head sculpt is my favourite of the bunch. It's just a neutral expression, but also kind of pissed. He's got the scar up top, skin texture is good, the piercing blue eyes work for me. And compared to the Premium Toys head sculpt, the sculpt is the same, the paint is a little bit better on the Toy Zero one. The hair is a touch darker, less metallic, and the skin texture just looks more HD to me. If you do happen to prefer any of the Premium Toys head sculpts though, you can always just pop them on the body if you so choose. The subtle smirk, this is my second favourite head sculpt, and that's why we're looking at it second. The likeness to Anthony Starr, yes, I said it correctly this time, is there from almost every angle. And because that skin texture has been refined, this head sculpt also benefits from the updated paint applications. I think that's going to be a running theme here with all the head sculpts. The same thing goes for the neck, by the way, because they have updated the paint applications on the neck too. The blend between the two pieces is pretty darn seamless. This one is so much fun. It infuses a lot of personality. It's very playful. And in the right pose, it totally works. They have fixed the wonky eye. With my Premium Toys one, it looked terrible. His eye was just all over the place. With this one, so much better. The teeth are all nicely painted with some line work in between them so it doesn't just look like dentures. And you can even make out the tongue inside the mouth. I like to think of this one as the dead inside press junket Homelander. He has to make a straight face, give a little bit of smile, but he doesn't mean it. He wants to kill every single one of the people asking him questions. This head sculpt, I can totally see myself using. The hair is even more slicked back than the previous two, and that smirk with the big dimples and all of that great skin texture and detail, it looks just as realistic as the other ones. For those keeping track, we've got smirking, we've got press junket Homelander, we've got goofy Homelander with a big open mouth expression, neutral Homelander, and pissed off Homelander. This one is by far the angriest and almost the most expressive aside from the big open mouth one. I like that one too. The hair coming down the front is a nice touch. The teeth are well painted, just like the other ones, and the skin texture and detail is on point. I still would say in terms of the likeness, this one might just be the weakest. I don't really see Anthony Starr here. Still a good option if you're going more dynamic and more aggressive with your posing. Now, unfortunately, unlike the Premium Toys version, these head sculpts, I should say, don't have the bonk Homelander on the head light-up function. They've gone with the luminous reflective paint just like Hot Toys does. So you need to grab yourself a UV torch, and if you shine it at the right angle, his eyes will glow on all of the 5 head sculpts. Do let me know which you prefer. Do you like the UV torch option, or do you prefer LED light-up functions with the teeny tiny button cell batteries? For me personally, I would go with the UV torch option. It's there if you need it, and you don't have to dismantle the figure or bonk him on the head or switch out button cell batteries. The Premium Toys cape I liked. I thought it was fine. It was lightweight enough to drape well, so does this one. It had wires along the edges and the bottom, so does this one. And the colours were okay. This one is so much nicer in pretty much every single way. Up top, the blue is deeper, richer, more accurate to the US flag. The white stars are white versus soft blue and stretched on the left side. This is the Premium Toys one. The red stripes are now properly defined because they're not just printed on the surface. You can see how much bleed there was between the red and the white on the left here. And it almost looked like a bed sheet. It was this very, very thin 2-ply material. Whereas this one is a little bit thicker and sturdier, and the red stripes, they're screen printed, so they actually stand out on the white body of the cape itself. Like I said, this cape It's a huge upgrade. It's these little quality of life improvements like the updated paint applications, like the new cape. All of these things add up to, I think, a very worthy upgrade if you have the Premium Toys version. Or God forbid, if you have the Star Race one. If you do, I am so sorry. They've also updated the body. They've removed a lot of padding, so this time you can get his arms almost completely down flush by his sides. The screen printing looks so much nicer, it's way more HD, and they haven't gone for that rubbery material. It is screen printed, but it's over the top of a fabric suit, which is way more screen accurate. You have shading for the muscles. This red stripe is nice and vibrant, although you still can't peel it back like he does in the show. The collar looks accurate with the gold symbols on the red background, they pop against it. The eagles on either side are separate floating pieces of rubbery plastic with this patina wash in the crevices, they look great. And they've added these bands around his elbows, which definitely should be there. The gauntlets, they can be moved around, and the suit, it continues into the gloves. So when this gauntlet moves up and out of the way, it looks more seamless. You don't have skin tone or wrist pegs poking through. I would still advise moving it down and covering up the gap. You don't really want to see blue poking through the two red pieces. It's not like they've done away with all the padding. There is still some for the ab sections and his pecs. You can feel it's a little bit squishy. Nowhere near as much as the Premium Toys version. That one was straight up all padding. It was completely rubberized. And some people even said it was too big and chunky. It flared out and it buckled in sections, and I don't think it looked anywhere near as good as this Toy Zero one. The deeper, richer, more saturated blue on the right and the brighter red for that stripe going around the front. I have to give the win to Toy Zero. They have made some massive improvements for the body and the suit. I'm pretty excited to get to the articulation segment. They've removed just so much padding that this body, it can do stuff the previous Homelander could never even dream of. You were fighting against rubber, you were fighting against the suit, you were fighting against padding. No more. The pants, they're all that stretchy spandex with the screen-printed eagles on the surface. Got shading in the muscle groups for definition. Then down here for the boots, they're a split-cut boot design. They're also painted a little bit nicer than the Premium Toys ones. They're not perfect. They look a little bit sloppy down here, but up top, I have no complaints with the eagle, the gold trim, or the way the zippers are painted and sculpted. You do have washes in the crevices, as well as some lighter red dry brushing. On the underside, some fully sculpted tread. For a quick side-by-side comparison, on the left the new Toy Zero 2.0 Sigma, and on the right the 1.0, the original by Premium Toys. I didn't think there was going to be as many differences as there are. Seeing them standing in front of me, it's night and day. I just think the Toy Zero one is so much nicer. Now that's not saying you immediately have to rush out and replace your Premium Toys one. If you have that one and you're happy with the proportions, and the broadness of the shoulders, and the fuzziness of the print on the cape, and the wideness of the collar, and the softness of the paint applications on the head sculpts, and the rubberiness of the suit with that almost reflective sheen, and the lack of articulation with all the padding, you're going to be perfectly fine with that one. If you want one that's more screen accurate, more proportionate, that looks more realistic like Anthony Starr in a padded suit, and is made of fabric with screen printing versus rubbery fabric, then I reckon the Toy Zero one is calling your name. Hey, look, Toy Zero, nobody's debating the fact that you can make a really, really good Homelander. What about the other characters in the show, though? This is the So-So Toys Butcher. I really like So-So Toys Butcher. I would love to see a Toy Zero version, and who knows, once they're done with Homelander, if this truly is their final one, maybe they will give him a go. Or someone else, like Maeve or Black Noir or one of the other members of the Seven. We will have to wait and see. I can't complain too much. They were first to market with a Soldier Boy, aka Toy Zero's the Alpha. He is slightly taller than Homelander, that's okay with me. And the head sculpt, being done by Yixi, a Hot Toys level head sculpt artist, it's insanely good. These two figures were quite literally designed to be displayed together, same line, same company. Going over articulation, I am expecting good things here. Supposedly, one of the key areas of improvement over and above the Premium Toys version, this one being a 2.0 of that and all, is articulation. Starting off with the head sculpt, it's on a ball joint at the base of the neck and another ball joint up on top. And the same goes for all the other head sculpts as well. Looking forward to there, looking up to there, decent enough range for a flight pose in my opinion. Swivel and pivot side to side. The arms will go up to there, they will go forward and back on soft ratchets. This shoulder pad nicely moves out of the way on the soft fabric outfit. Butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep underneath the outfit itself. Double bend at the elbow going past 90, then for the wrist peg, a hinge and swivel. And luckily, because the suit extends up underneath the gauntlet, you won't see some skin tone poking through if the gauntlet moves down on you. The torso is by far the biggest area of improvement. Crunching forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. The legs will go forward to there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, ratcheted double bend at the knee going past 90. Then for the ankles, split cut boot design with a double ball peg, good for forward and back, swivel, and some ankle tilt. Wrapping up on Toys Era the Sigma 2.0, aka Homelander. We had the Star Race one first, then we had the Premium Toys one, then we had the Toys Works one, now we have this one. That's 4 1/6 scale Homelanders in a very short period of time. And each one luckily has gotten better and better. It's not hard to beat the Star Race one though, that one is truly a disaster. This one is the opposite of that. This is the best one yet. The proportions are better than all of the previous ones. The collar is more accurate. The outfit is better tailored. The body is way more posable. This is a Homelander you can actually pose versus those rubbery outfit ones. You would struggle. I know because I struggled. I sat there for ages getting them to look decent. With this guy, you can pull off pretty much any of the poses you want to with relative ease, especially compared to those rubbery ones. You get 5 head sculpts, a decent array of hands, and the presence that you get from this guy, plus all of the little fixes, like the cape not being that bleeding mess that the other ones had. I reckon this is your go-to Homelander. If you just want one right now and you have to have the best version of him on the market, Toys Era's the Sigma 2.0 is going to be very, very hard to beat. And I don't even know if anyone else can, especially not third party at this point. I'm going to call it right here and now, the war is over. Toys Era, with this version of Homelander, you'll have won. Now, I got mine directly from them. This is going to sound stupid because I just said this was the best Homelander on the market. It's a review sample, and it's not a promotional video. I could not care if you get this. If you just want the best Homelander, then you will. If you don't, okay, pick one of the other ones. Totally fine. Now, if you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.